The world is not kind to the weak. It never has been, and it never will be. Look around. History is filled with people who were crushed by life because they lacked the strength to endure. Mental toughness is the difference between those who rise and those who fall. But here's what no one tells you. Your biggest battle is not with the world, it's with yourself. It's your mind that will try to convince you to quit when things get tough. It's your own voice that will whisper, "Maybe I'm not good enough." It's that inner weakness that will make excuses, look for shortcuts, and beg for an easier path. And that's why mental toughness is rare, because it requires you to do what most people won't. It demands discipline, resilience, and a refusal to give in to weakness. Think about this. Why do some people seem unshakable no matter what life throws at them? Why do some individuals face pain, setbacks, and failures, yet never break? The answer is simple. They've trained their minds for war. See, your mind is like a battlefield, and every single day there is a war happening inside you. A war between strength and weakness, between action and procrastination, between discipline and excuses. And let me tell you something, weakness is always looking for an opening. If you give it even the smallest chance, if you let your guard down for a moment, it will take control. That's why you see people give up so easily. That's why they break under pressure. But the strongest minds? They are trained for battle. They do not let emotions control them. They do not wait for motivation. They do not surrender when life gets hard. Instead, they embrace the struggle because they know struggle is where strength is built. And here's what separates the mentally tough from everyone else. They don't rely on feelings. Weak people act based on how they feel. If they don't feel like working hard, they don't. If they don't feel like facing a problem, they run. If they don't feel like waking up early, they sleep in. But those who are truly strong, they do what needs to be done, no matter what. They don't wait for motivation. They don't need permission. They don't look for easy roads. They train their minds to endure pain, to stay disciplined, to keep pushing even when every part of them wants to stop. Because they understand one thing that most people don't. Everything in life is a test, and you only have two choices: pass or fail. So, if you want to develop unshakable mental toughness, if you want to be the kind of person who can face any challenge without breaking, there is only one way. You must start embracing discomfort. You must learn to suffer now, so you don't suffer later. Pain is unavoidable. No matter who you are, no matter how smart, rich, or talented, you will suffer at some point in life. But the difference between the strong and the weak is how they handle that pain. Most people run from pain. They try to escape it. They numb it with distractions, social media, entertainment, alcohol, meaningless relationships, anything to avoid facing reality. But here's what they don't understand. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. The strongest minds in history were not built in comfort. They were forged in fire. Warriors, leaders, visionaries, they all endured pain, failure, and rejection. But instead of letting it break them, they used it as fuel. Because here's the truth. Pain is power, if you know how to use it. Think about a time when someone doubted you. A time when life knocked you down so hard you questioned if you'd ever recover. A moment when you felt invisible, overlooked, underestimated. How did it feel? Now, what if I told you that feeling is your weapon? See, pain creates two types of people. The first type, they let pain define them. They become bitter, weak, and full of self-pity. They say things like, "Life is unfair. It's too hard. Why me?" These people will never reach their full potential because they've already accepted defeat. But the second type, they use pain as motivation. Instead of complaining, they work harder. Instead of breaking down, they rise up. Instead of running from discomfort, They face it head on and grow stronger. This is what mentally tough people do. They flip the script. If they're rejected, they don't see it as failure. They see it as a reason to improve. If they're doubted, they don't take it personally. They use it as fuel. If they face a setback, they don't give up. They adapt, adjust, and come back stronger. They refuse to be victims of their circumstances. They take full control of their story. You see, the real reason most people don't achieve greatness is not because they lack talent or intelligence. It's because they are too afraid to suffer. But the truth is, suffering is the only path to strength. If you want to be mentally tough, you must learn to be uncomfortable. If you want success, you must be willing to struggle for it. If you want to be great, you must be willing to endure more pain than the average person. Because here's the secret. Pain is temporary, but the strength it gives you, that lasts forever. So the next time life tests you, don't run, don't avoid it. Face it. Look pain in the eyes and say, "You will not break me. You will build me." Because if you can master your pain, you can master anything. Mental toughness isn't just about handling pain, it's about controlling your mind before it controls you. A warrior is not someone who simply survives struggle. A warrior is someone who has trained their mind so intensely that no external force, no failure, no rejection, no hardship can break their focus. Most people lose because they lack discipline. They chase motivation, thinking that one day they'll wake up ready to take action. But here's the truth. Motivation is a lie. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel like taking on the world. Other days you won't even want to get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, you'll always be inconsistent. Discipline is the real key. Discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it. It means pushing forward even when you're tired, uninspired, or full of doubt. It means training yourself to act, not based on emotions, but on principles. Warriors don't operate on feelings, they operate on habits. A mentally weak person says, "I don't feel like doing it today." A mentally tough person says, "It doesn't matter how I feel, I have a mission." That mission is non-negotiable, and that's what separates warriors from the rest. But here's where most people go wrong. They don't control their focus. Look around. Most people today are distracted. Their minds are pulled in 1,000 different directions. They scroll endlessly, jump from one task to another, waste hours on meaningless entertainment. And then they wonder why they can't make progress. You must guard your focus like a warrior guards his sword. Every time you let distractions control you, you're weakening your mind. Train your mind to focus on what truly matters. Remove anything that drains your energy but adds no value. Stop chasing short-term pleasure and start building long-term strength. Because mental toughness is not just about surviving pain, it's about training yourself to be unshakable, unstoppable, and laser-focused on your purpose. The truth is, most people will never reach their full potential, not because they aren't capable, but because they lack control. Control over their emotions, control over their reactions, control over their thoughts. And the ones who do master their minds, they dominate in life. So here's the final lesson. If you want to develop mental toughness, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop making excuses. Stop letting fear hold you back. Train your mind every single day, because the stronger your mind becomes, the stronger your life will be. A weak mind leads to a weak life. A strong mind? It creates an unstoppable force. So the question is, which one are you choosing to build?